Did you know that the trees and plants around us are working as Earth's natural climate heroes? Plants don't just beautify our world, they play a crucial role in tackling one of the biggest challenges we face today: climate change. Plants act as carbon sinks, meaning they absorb carbon dioxide, or CO2, from the atmosphere. But how do they do this, and why is it so important? Let's break it down a bit more. A carbon sink, it sounds technical, right? But it's actually pretty simple. A carbon sink is anything that absorbs more carbon dioxide, or CO2, than it releases. And plants, they're some of the most effective carbon sinks on the planet. Here's where it gets fascinating. Through this amazing process called photosynthesis, plants literally pull CO2 straight out of the air. Imagine their leaves as little gateways. They absorb the CO2, combine it with water they take up from their roots, and, with a bit of help from sunlight, they work their magic. What comes out of this process? Two things: glucose and oxygen. Now, the glucose is like their food. It's what helps them grow bigger and stronger. And the oxygen? Well, that's a gift to all of us. Plants release it back into the atmosphere, giving us the clean, fresh air we need to survive. So every time you take a breath, remember, you've got plants to thank for that. But there's more to it than just cleaning the air. When plants absorb carbon, they don't just use it up and let it go. They actually store it. That CO2 they pull from the air becomes part of their structure: their trunks, branches, leaves, roots, and even the soil around them. It's like they're locking away the carbon in a vault, keeping it out of the atmosphere for years, even centuries. Forests are especially good at this. Take the Amazon rainforest, for example. It's often called the lungs of the earth for a reason. It absorbs billions of tons of CO2 every year, helping to keep our climate stable. And mangroves? They're like the overachievers of the plant world. They don't just store carbon in their roots, they trap it deep in the soil beneath them, making them some of the most efficient carbon sinks out there. So, plants aren't just sitting there, looking green and pretty. They're actively working every single day to keep our planet livable, absorbing the CO2 that contributes to global warming and storing it safely away. Without them, the Earth's CO2 levels would spiral out of control, and we'd be in serious trouble. Amazing, right? These silent protectors are doing all of this while we go about our lives. It's just one more reason to appreciate and protect them. Did you know plants have these tiny little helpers on their leaves called stomata? Think of them as miniature doorways. These stomata are where plants pull in carbon dioxide from the air. It's like they're breathing in CO2, but instead of exhaling, they use it for something incredible. With the power of sunlight, plants get to work. They combine the CO2 they've absorbed with water from their roots, and through this fascinating process called photosynthesis, they transform it into something amazing: glucose. This glucose is like a snack pack for the plants. It's the energy they use to grow bigger, stronger, and greener. And guess what? There's a bonus. While they're making their food, plants release oxygen as a byproduct. That's right, the fresh air we breathe comes from this process. So, in cleaning up carbon dioxide, plants also give us the oxygen we need to survive. It doesn't stop there. By reducing the levels of CO2, a major greenhouse gas, plants are actively helping to fight global warming. They're cleaning the air, storing carbon, and giving back in ways that keep our planet healthy and livable. They're not just growing, they're saving the world, one leaf at a time. It's not just the small plants in your garden pulling their weight. There's an even bigger story happening in the world's forests. Take tropical rainforests, for example. These incredible ecosystems are some of the most powerful carbon sinks on the planet. Think of them like massive sponges, soaking up enormous amounts of carbon dioxide from the air. Every tree, every leaf, every bit of greenery in these forests is hard at work, pulling CO2 out of the atmosphere and helping to keep the planet's climate in check. But here's what's truly amazing. It's not just a little bit of CO2 they're absorbing, it's billions of tons every year. Forests like the Amazon play a key role in regulating the Earth's carbon balance, acting as nature's climate stabilizers. Without them, the CO2 in our atmosphere would rise dramatically, fueling even more global warming. These forests aren't just beautiful, they're essential. They're nature's frontline defense against the growing carbon emissions we face today. So next time you think about rainforests, remember, they're not just lush jungles, they're the lungs of our planet, working tirelessly to keep the air clean and the climate stable. As trees grow, they become nature's ultimate storage units for carbon. They absorb CO2 from the air and lock it away in their trunks, branches, leaves, and roots. But the story doesn't stop there. The soil beneath them joins in, acting like a massive underground vault, holding on to carbon for centuries, sometimes even millennia. Here's the incredible part. Forests don't just store a little carbon, they hold more carbon than the atmosphere itself. Think about that. Every towering tree, every sprawling root system, every layer of rich forest soil is working together to keep our planet's carbon levels in check. This natural storage system is vital for maintaining the Earth's climate. By holding on to so much carbon, forests prevent it from escaping into the atmosphere, where it would contribute to global warming. It's like they're quietly doing the heavy lifting, protecting the planet one tree ring at a time. Now, you might be wondering, why does all this matter? Well, here's the thing. When trees are cut down or burned in wildfires, all that carbon they've been carefully storing doesn't just disappear. Instead, it gets released back into the atmosphere as carbon dioxide, adding to the already rising levels of greenhouse gases. This release can have a dramatic impact. It's like undoing years of hard work that trees have done to keep our climate stable. Suddenly, what was once a carbon sink becomes a source of emissions, accelerating climate change and making the planet even hotter. That's why protecting our forests isn't just important, it's absolutely crucial. Every tree that stands tall is a defender against global warming, and every forest we save is a step toward a healthier, more balanced Earth. It's not just about preserving beauty, it's about safeguarding the future of our planet. But hey, it's not all bad news. There's hope, and it comes in the form of reforestation. Efforts to plant more trees and restore degraded forests are making a real difference. Every sapling planted is like hitting the reset button, giving nature a chance to heal and rebalance itself. By growing more trees, we're doing more than just adding greenery to the landscape. We're improving air quality, providing habitats for wildlife, and most importantly, supercharging these natural carbon sinks. Each new tree is another ally in the fight against climate change, soaking up CO2 and storing it safely away. Reforestation isn't just a feel-good effort, it's a powerful solution. It's proof that we can take action, reverse some of the damage, and work toward a greener, healthier planet. Every tree planted is a step forward, and together, those steps can lead to a brighter future. And here's the surprising part, it's not just forests doing all the heavy lifting. Grasslands, wetlands, and even the plants growing beneath the ocean surface, like seagrass, are all part of this incredible carbon-absorbing team. Grasslands act like giant sponges for carbon, storing it in their deep root systems. Wetlands are some of the most efficient carbon sinks on the planet, trapping CO2 in their waterlogged soils for thousands of years. And then there's seagrass, the unsung hero of the ocean. These underwater meadows capture carbon at an astonishing rate, often much faster than forests on land. Each of these ecosystems plays a vital role in storing carbon and keeping it out of the atmosphere. They're nature's way of balancing the scales, helping to slow the effects of climate change and protect the planet for future generations. Together, they form a powerful network of carbon sinks that work tirelessly to keep our Earth livable. Take seagrass, for example. It's not just a pretty sight beneath the waves. These underwater plants are powerhouses when it comes to carbon storage. Seagrass can capture carbon and lock it away in the ocean floor, where it can stay safely stored for centuries. That's right, centuries. While carbon in the atmosphere contributes to global warming, carbon trapped in seagrass meadows stays out of the way, helping to slow down the impact of climate change. It's like the ocean's natural carbon bank, quietly doing its part to regulate the planet's climate, one blade of grass at a time. So, while forests are often in the spotlight for their carbon-absorbing abilities, seagrass is just as crucial. It's proof that every ecosystem, whether on land or in the water, has a role to play in maintaining the delicate balance of our planet's carbon cycle. So, what can we do about all this? Well, it's not as complicated as it might seem. Simple actions, like planting trees, supporting reforestation projects, and reducing deforestation, are key steps we can take to help nature in its fight against climate change. Planting trees is a hands-on way to make a real difference. Every tree you plant is another tiny but mighty carbon sink in the world's battle against global warming. Reforestation projects are also crucial. They're helping to bring back forests that were lost, restoring ecosystems and boosting carbon storage. And reducing deforestation? That's just as important. By protecting the forests we still have, we're ensuring that these natural carbon banks can continue to thrive. These actions may seem small in isolation, but collectively, they add up to a massive impact. Together, we can support nature's efforts and play a part in reversing climate change, one tree, one project, and one decision at a time. By protecting and growing plants, we're doing more than just enjoying their beauty. We're actually playing a vital role in keeping our planet healthy. Every tree, every garden, every patch of greenery helps maintain the delicate balance of our ecosystems. Plants are more than just a source of food or decoration. They're the foundation of life on Earth. They help clean the air, store carbon, provide shelter for wildlife, and regulate our climate. So, when we take the time to care for plants, we're not just enhancing our surroundings. We're actively contributing to the health of our planet. In a world where climate change is a growing challenge, every plant we protect or plant has the potential to make a real difference. It's one of the simplest and most effective ways we can help safeguard the future of Earth. Remember, every tree you plant, every garden you grow, and every forest you protect contributes to the health of our planet. Plants are working hard as carbon sinks, and now it's our turn to work with them.